Well, hi. I'm going to show you how to do my Lichen Stitch. So this is it. This to come up here. Okay, this is it right here. And it's a really, really pretty stitch. I've done it with a bulky yarn on 3/4 inch. If you were going to do a lacier yarn, you would get a lacier version of it, which would be just gorgeous like this. Beautiful for a shawl or anything that you want a more lacy pattern for, or cowl, anything like that. Very, very pretty. Or you could have it a little bit thicker and you could use it for blankets or just about anything you want, really. It has a really, really good texture. And it looks pretty nice on the other side too. If I can get in a little closer or get you to see how this looks. It's got lots of nice texture on this side too. So you could use both sides. It'd be really, really beautiful in a shawl or a scarf. It's hanging pretty good. I've used no pearls at all on it, and it's hanging nice and straight. It's not going to curl. I might start doing a bit of a treatment on the edge just to have it be, although it's still, it's looking pretty good, but I can get it to be a little nicer just by adding a pearl. Maybe one pearl in a prime location here. But it's looking pretty good as is. Okay. So I have 20 pegs on here, but you can do any amount of pegs you want and do any kind of project that you want with it. It's just a stitch video, so I'm just going to show you how to do the stitch, but I will give you some tips so that if you wanted to, you could just sit down and do a project, okay, based on the information that I give you. Okay, so let's start with the supplies. This is the yellow Nifty Knitter, the biggest one in the set. It's 3/4 inch. It's a discontinued set now. And the yarn is a bulky yarn called Bergeret de France, and it's a French yarn. It's from France. This one is in let's see, the color is 7, which is in French. I'm not sure what the name would be in English, but you can get this yarn in the USA, in Canada, in a lot of countries in the world just by putting in Bergeret de France and looking for it and see who sells it. And this particular yarn is called Harlequin or Harlequin in English. And the color is that 7 I told you about, but it's the one that has the black in it and all the other colors, the yellow, the orange, the green. It's this one. And it's 50% wool and 50% acrylic. And it has a kind of shine to it. It's a really beautiful yarn. One of my favorite yarns to knit with. It knits like a charm. Okay, so I'm going to put that up there. My loom hook is a wood loom hook that's been painted that I got from a company that no longer makes them, but you can find similar shapes on Etsy if you like this type of a loom hook. Okay, so it's a 2-row pattern and it's 2 different stitches. I I've been treating the edge, so I've marked these 2 pegs, and here on this edge I've marked these 2 pegs. Okay, you can use even or odd stitches. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. I may show you an edge that will hang a little better than the edge that I've been doing here. It will just be a little bit straighter at the edge. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, I'll tell you what I did here, because this is nice. It's fine. Okay, so row 1. Oh, first of all, I'll tell you how to get started. So you're going to cast on, and this cast on is going to be on my channel in the description with the matching bind off. Okay, so just scroll down if you don't see it, and you'll see the link for the cast on. So it's a chain cast on. You cast on, then I did 2 rows of owl eye, and I'll be showing you how to do owl eye if you don't know, but I did 2 rows of owl eye, and then I went right into the pattern. It sure is beautiful, isn't it? So rich looking. Okay, so row 1 is owl eye. So whatever peg you're on is peg 1, and you go behind peg 1, over peg 2, nice and loose, and just knit it over. Okay, you're on peg 1, behind peg 1, and over peg 1 and 2, and knit it off. On peg 1, in front of peg 1 and 2, and knit it off. Okay, in peg 1, in front of 1 and 2, nice and loose, and knit it off. Okay, on peg 1, in front of 1 and 2, knit it off. So that's all there is to this stitch. Okay, row 1. You're just going to go over 1 and 2 and knit them off nice and loose. Over 1 and 2 and knit them off. Over 1 and 2, knit them off. Okay, we're almost at the edge. Okay, so all I was doing for an edge stitch, let me go over this one more time. There. Well, got a little bit of yarn here. I think I split the yarn, so let's just put this back on here and knit it off properly. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, and then the second stitch. There we go, all fixed up. Okay, now all I did was go over these, knit them off, and then come back, knit them off, and wind it and knit them off. So I'm just going to change it, but if you want to do just what I was doing, you just knit these 2 pegs, but instead of knitting them, I'm just going to purl them, and that will just help everything to lay flatter. And then I'm just going to come back over the 2 nice and loose, and then I'm going to come back and wrap it once more like this. So from behind, go in front and just knit it off, and then that will help it to lay straighter. So if you come take a look at it, it's going to look much the same as what I was doing. It's not going to change the look very much, but it's going to now hang straighter. See, it's just a little bit different here. and it will just go with the stitch here. Okay, and I'll show you another variation of that you can do when we get to the other side too. All kinds of things you can do to have an edge for a stitch like this. Okay, now we're going to go this way, and I've come back and these 2 pegs are knitted, so we're going to do row 2, and row 2 is Esme stitch. So to do Esme stitch, you're going to come around this peg in an E-wrap. So E-wrap the peg and then knit it, E-wrap it again, knit it, then come in front in a U-wrap, and you're going to want to have it looking like this. If you're too tight, you're going to have a hard time knitting it over. So you're going to want it to look like this so that you can just easily knit it off. Okay, so come here, do an E-wrap, and then another E-wrap, and then do a U-wrap, and just knit it off, and then tighten. Okay, E-wrap, E-wrap, the yarn is sticking to that, U-wrap. Nifty knitter is pretty old and it's getting a bit scratched up, and yarn like this sometimes sticks a little bit to the pegs. Okay, E-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap, E-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap. Okay, very easy, and tighten. And that's all there is to making this pattern. 1 row of owl eye and 1 row of Esme. Okay, so E-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap, U-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap, 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 and U-wrap, 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 and U-wrap. Okay, E-wrap, E-wrap, U-wrap. E-wrap. Do 2 E-wraps and then the U-wrap. Okay, E-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap, E-wrap, E-wrap, and U-wrap. Okay, and then tighten. Okay, and then we're at the end pegs, and this time, like I say, the way I've been doing it is just both of these were U-wrapped, but what I'm going to do is only purl this peg, and I'm going to come over and knit this one nice and loose. I'm going to come back over knit both of them, and then come back over and knit both of them again. Now this will blend in completely with the stitch that I was doing here. You won't really be able to tell I did much, except it's just going to start hanging a little bit straighter so that it won't slightly curl this way right on the edge, because that's the only thing that is having any curl at all is this edge, and that's just going to bring it straight. So that's what you can do on the side. You can see already how nice and straight it is. So I think I favor this one because the edge stays the same, and with this one it makes it a little bit of a curly thing, which will look really nice going down the side, except it won't match with what I already have here. But I think I'm going to redo this anyway, and that's another option. So there are some options for you for doing sides. You want a side that's long enough for the long stitches so it hangs properly. Okay, that's why I showed you those. And we can have another look at it now that we've that you know how to do this. It's really pretty. Here on this lighter color, it's easier to see the pattern, but it's really, really pretty. And on the other side, again, it's going to be probably easier to see it on the yellow, but it's a really nice pattern on the other side too. So there you go. And yeah, it's a very, very nice stitch. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye.